Are you a young Russian man between the age of 18 or 27, worried about being conscripted to Uncle Putin's grand project? If you're watching this video, then probably not. But as someone with many Russian friends and family roots, I had the curiosity to figure out how screwed I would be if I were a Russian citizen. Should I break a leg? Should I build a hut in Siberia and disappear in the wilderness? Let's find out. First, to clear a few misconceptions. Will you get sent to Ukraine as a young conscript? As according to law, conscripts aren't supposed to fight outside of Russian territory. Also, according to law, compulsory military service may be carried out in territories that are considered new territories of the Russian Federation. So make no mistake, you are going to be sent to Ukraine. Next, can't I just hide from the draft officers? I'll move my address and change my phone number, and no one will find me. Uncle Putin is onto you, and he wants his war to last a few more years at least. So Moscow has just approved some hardcore changes in order to avoid draft dodgers just like you. Prior to 11th of April 2023, everything was done on paper. The system was such that if you did not open the letter, or answer the phone call, or were spoken to in person by the conscripting officer, you could officially say that you were not notified, meaning that in 2022 it was still possible to avoid being sent to Ukraine by changing your phone number, unofficially moving address, and by being a bit elusive in general. This isn't going to work anymore. New measures are going to turn the summoning process into an online affair, with electronic conscription notices. Basically, once your name appears on a list on this website, you have been officially notified. From this point on, if you do not make your way to the draft office within the space of some 20 days of receiving the notice, you may lose your ability to gift, sell, or transfer real estate, or any property. You also won't be able to take out a loan, drive a vehicle, or become self-employed. Not to mention, there will be no chance of leaving the country. So what are you to do? Common ways of draft dodging include higher education, being the primary caretaker of family members, working in an industry that helps with the war effort, to have health issues, or to leave the country before you are officially summoned. All of these options have some snags. There's quite a long list of ailments that could potentially release an individual from service, including skeletal system diseases, vision-related diseases, hearing problems, and more interestingly, stuttering, diabetes and obesity of the 3rd degree or higher will also exempt you. Obesity of the 3rd degree is typically defined by a person's body mass index being 40 or higher. For example, a person who's 178 centimeters tall and weighs around 136 kilograms would likely fall into the category and may be able to avoid service. So in Soviet Russia, a healthy lifestyle kills you. There have also been reports of disturbing videos depicting men intentionally breaking their own arms or legs. If you do decide to go down the self-harm route, it's probably best not to film it. Not to mention that the delay is likely to be only temporary, hardly worth a broken limb. There are also claims of a booming underground market for forged medical documents, which may end up exempting soldiers from duty. Again, this is risky in the case that the documents are proven to be false. As for becoming a civil servant or working for an industry that helps with the war effort, well, this can't really be done on a short notice. There is little possibility in gaining such a career path after summons has begun, and you either are or aren't an engineer. So assuming that you do not have a family that requires your help, your best option by far in 2023 is to run away. Emigrate before you are summoned. This is the option most lawyers in Russia recommend right now. In addition, it is wise to sell your property or to transfer it to other family members prior to leaving, as you may not be able to do so afterwards. So let's assume it's too late and you have been summoned and are effectively in Ukraine. Now your best course of action is surrender. The following video is instructing Russian soldiers on a proper manner in which to surrender to a drone. The first step which needs to be taken, according to the video, is to connect with the project I Want to Live, which can be used to declare your location and the manner of surrender. The step is usually taken through the use of a chatbot on Telegram. After receiving verification, you are meant to go to a pre-arranged place. It is worth noting that timing and precision are critically important, as the drone may not have adequate battery. Once you are in the agreed upon zone of evacuation, you must establish visual contact with the drone and make the following gestures. After this, you may follow the drone to the point of extraction. The project spokesperson maintains that surrendering through the I Want to Live protocol is significantly safer than surrendering during active combat or military operation. This claim, however, I find the most problematic. According to this captured soldier's interview, Russian deserters are being punished in the harshest way possible. I suspect that trying to extract, with the help of this project, is just as dangerous as engaging in direct combat. According to Ukrainian authorities, so far some 10,000 Russian troops have surrendered on the Ukrainian front through the use of the project. Since September last year, the hotline has garnered over 24 million visitors, the vast majority of which are said to be Russian. If this is true, then the willingness and consideration for surrender is very real amongst Russians. The numbers of visits and surrender count is also apparently increasing with each passing month, especially since the mobilization took place. The project I Want to Live guarantees compliance with the Geneva Conventions for the treatment of prisoners of war. 3 meals per day. They may be able to call their family members, they have access to recreational facilities, and they can even earn money, which the project points out can be spent on cigarettes. They will also have the opportunity to be repatriated after the war is over or to seek asylum in Europe. This all sounds great, of course, but the more skeptical of you might be asking yourself, why should we believe these guarantees? How do we know that prisoners aren't being beaten up or tortured and their rights are in fact being respected? Of course, in reality, there are no guarantees. I'm just a guy with an internet connection, Googling, translating, and questioning. But we could argue that Ukraine has an incentive to stay true to its word. If the conditions on the battlefield are in fact as described, with Russian soldiers having morale issues, shortage of equipment, experience, and most importantly, a lack of belief in their cause, then why wouldn't it be in the interests of Ukraine to provide a humane way out for these soldiers? It's in fact one of the main reasons Ukraine has been successful thus far in the conflict. Any wrongdoing or breach of conduct on Ukrainian side would give Russian soldiers motivation to fight on. With Russian morale as low as it is, it would be a grave mistake to do so. In other words, a project similar to I Want to Live could not have the same success if implemented on the Russian side. Morale is Ukraine's special weapon, and for this reason, Ukraine has to uphold its promises, even to Russian soldiers, for it strengthens its cause. Now, have you thought about how this conflict in Ukraine could be a massive opportunity for North Korea? Click here. And this is my Patreon map. Everyone on this map has at some point directly contributed to the success of this channel. I am massively grateful. Especially my old friend Sefitz, who has been a long-term sponsor. Geoperspective out.